Guest fighters. Many argue it's the biggest problem with NetherRealm games. It started off fine with 1 or 2 characters at most, but then Mortal Kombat X had 4, which is too many, followed by Mortal Kombat 11 having even more, which was nuts. And then Mortal Kombat 1 gets here with 7. Yes, 7 guest characters. Listen, okay, I think most players do like guest characters, but like 1 or 2 of them. 3 is already pushing it, and 4 is honestly too many. Because just imagine if MK1 had Jade instead of Conan. Yeah, that would have been epic. Hell, I'd honestly take Draman over Conan. And their gameplay would be shockingly similar now that I think about it. But yeah, NetherRealm has made 17 guest characters in the Mortal Kombat games alone. If we include the Injustice games, there's 22. That's right, 22 guest characters. That's enough for an entirely separate fighting game. Which is wild to think about, but also NetherRealm, make it happen. What are you waiting for? Make a fighting game of just the guest characters. That would be incredible. But I digress. Today's video's not about that. While NetherRealm has made many guest characters, and most players agree there's too many, also some of these guest characters are beloved, with fans demanding they return in a future title. So today, I'm gonna rank every guest character in NetherRealm history, including characters that fans want to come back. And no, this is not a re-upload. I know it might seem that way because I make so many tier lists, but today's video is brand new from start to finish, so please enjoy and don't skip to the end, it's not a long video. Alright, here we go. First up is Bring Them Back. These guest characters were such a hit that fans are demanding them to this day. In other words, they want them to return, and I'm in that boat too. I think Kratos needs to come back. It can be new Kratos or original Kratos, I really don't mind. But obviously modern Kratos is a better choice, and you know that game's getting a sequel, plus he was in Fortnite, alright? Using guns and hitting the gritty, so if his creators and owners are okay with that, then put him in a Mortal Kombat game, alright? It's okay and way more fitting for the character, honestly. Alright, row number 2. I'm gonna put one character in each row and then more later on. So next up is Amazing tier. Everything about these characters is incredible, not just their appearance and their gameplay, but also the technological feat of including them. Like the Ninja Turtles, for example. 4 characters in one as a single DLC is incredible. Yeah, and they're guest characters too, so it's like the double whammy, but in a good way. Yeah, definitely top 5 guest character in fighting game history, and honestly top 5 in just DLC in general for fighting games. The Ninja Turtles, are you kidding me? The only reason they're not and Bring Them Back is because I think other people deserve a chance, especially in a DC fighting game like Injustice, for example. Plus they were in Injustice 2, which was not that long ago. Okay, so next up is Very Fun tier. Pretty self-explanatory. These characters had amazing gameplay. And I think Alien goes here, absolutely. In Mortal Kombat X, there was a variation system, right? But for some characters, the variations didn't feel very different. Not with Alien. All 3 variations were completely distinct and referenced the movie in their own way. It was so cool. You had the acidic alien, you had the alien queen, and then you had Baraka alien, which was amazing too. I never knew I needed Baraka alien until this DLC. It was amazing. But alright, next up is Mid. These characters were okay. They're not terrible. I don't regret them like the bottom tier, right? That's mistakes. I want these characters to never come back, but this current row is just Mid. And who better than Peacemaker, right? His gameplay is actually fun. I don't think any honest person would argue that. If you say that Peacemaker wasn't fun to play, especially when he first came out, I think you're lying, and I'm gonna call you a liar to your face. He was fun to play. However, nobody really wanted Peacemaker, let's be honest. Compared to every other possible guest character, who wanted Peacemaker? Let's be real. But oh boy, bottom tier time. The mistakes. You know who's going here. I don't even gotta say it, but I will because it's my video. Conan the Barbarian. Real quick, don't get it twisted. His gameplay is alright. In fact, I would argue it's fun, okay? It's enjoyable, but nothing crazy, and also nobody was asking for this guy. I'd say he's less popular than Peacemaker, at least at the time. They didn't even get Arnold to voice him, for Pete's sake. 2 games in a row, Arnold couldn't be bothered to voice his characters. Come on, man. Which is why, in my opinion, Conan in Mortal Kombat 1 was a mistake. No clue why they did that. Alright, back up top. Now I'm gonna fill out these rows, okay? Bring Them Back. Predator. Come on. He's got a lot of banger films out recently. It's time to bring him back. Killer of Killers has like 4 new Predator types alone, all of which are really cool, but then you have Mob boy Deck in Badlands, alright? I don't care if you hate that movie, Deck is cool. You can't argue this. He's an amazing swordsman with cool technology and actually knows how to hunt using animals and his environment. That's so sick. Oh, and then for costumes, you could use Prey or again, Killer of Killers, because there's so many fun Predator designs in those movies. Yeah, bring Predator back, absolutely. Then finally, we have Jason, just because he's popular. I'll be honest with you, every single time I talk about guest characters, there's dozens of people asking for Jason to come back or just talking about Jason. That's how much they love him, okay? Which means Jason is timeless, alright? People just always want this character. And believe it or not, that's it for Bring Them Back tier, okay? So get mad at me in the comments if you want to, but it's time for the Amazing tier, which is still fantastic, you just don't gotta bring them back. The T-1000 in Mortal Kombat 1, from a technical standpoint alone, is incredible. The way he turns into liquid and morphs into other people for his attacks, it's honestly really impressive. No other fighting game has come close to this. The fact fatalities still work on him impressed me. I thought they were gonna skip out on that because he's not built like a regular human, but no, NetherRealm made it work. Then on top of that, his gameplay is pretty fun. It's not incredible really, but it is good. I'd say it's very good, just not fantastic. Unlike this next character, Ghostface, and I don't want him to come back, alright? He can stay in Mortal Kombat 1 forever, so don't misunderstand me, but still, his gameplay is incredible. Ghostface is 3 characters combined, which is already impressive, but then you have movie references in his attacks and his fatalities. Oh, it's so good. I'm shocked that Ghostface was so fun. I thought he might bomb, but always kept faith and fingers crossed that maybe NetherRealm could make him cool, and they did. I was so blown away. Then finally, I have a hot take, Leatherface. I think he's so well done in Mortal Kombat X, which is impressive because in the movies, Leatherface is not that over the top. Yeah, he's got a chainsaw and he's a big guy, but that's about it. In fact, he's comical in the movies. He's kinda silly, right? Not too freaky or badass. Yet, Mortal Kombat X made him badass. He's so much fun to play and looks cool and looks intimidating. The stuff NetherRealm did with his toolset is so fun. Because once again, in the films, he doesn't do anything that crazy, so NetherRealm just made a lot of stuff up and made him so interesting. And actually, speaking of very fun, it's time for that row next. Hellboy in Injustice 2 was very fun. I'm impressed how developers dug into the lore of this character from the comics and the movies to give him some really cool stuff. In fact, even his appearance is straight from the comic books, right? Not ripped from the movies, which I appreciate that. And yeah, what else is there to say? Hellboy looks straight from the comics, he plays really fun, and has interesting moves. Next up is Omni-Man, and I'm impressed how many abilities they gave him from the comics, because to me, he's just evil Superman, right? But without the heat vision. And yet, his attacks are fun and interesting. He has the thunderclap, he can grab your face and just fly off screen, drag you on the floor, right? All that interesting stuff. He might never have been top tier, but he was always fun to play, which to me is honestly more important. I'd rather a character be fun than top tier every day. Next up though is another hot take, the Joker from Mortal Kombat 11, a character that nobody asked for, including me, and yet he was so creative and so much fun. He's beating you with boxing gloves and a cane, explosives, even hostages he throws at you. Oh, it's so good. I think Joker is so peak in Mortal Kombat 11, which is why he's in very fun tier. I don't think he's quite amazing because it's MK11 and that game holds a lot of characters back, but Joker actually shines in that game. But oh boy, next up is mid. Right away, I'm putting Scorpion and Sub-Zero here from Injustice. Well, Sub-Zero's from Injustice too, but you get my point. These characters, both of them, are pretty average. They're not bad. I would just say they're okay, which is why they're in mid. Then we have Freddy Krueger, a surprise twist for Mortal Kombat 9 to be sure, and I like that he's there, but gameplay wise, he's not very interesting. Let's just be real. He's a keep away zoner, he runs away the entire match, and is just not that exciting to watch. Kinda fun to play though, which is why he's in mid, right? He's not a mistake, just not that impressive. Then we have the Terminator. Yeah, everybody was excited for his inclusion in Mortal Kombat 11, then got underwhelmed immediately, because he's kinda fun to play, but just feels like a grappler who has a shotgun. Instead of being a T-800, right? He had the endoskeleton, but for some reason NetherRealm made it really bad. One of the worst moves in the entire game. In fact, it might be the worst move. It's really terrible. So yeah, NetherRealm fumbled that really bad. It didn't feel like the Terminator, it just felt like throwy shotgun man. Big underwhelming. Ah man, next up we have Spawn. I'm not sure where to put him. My gut says to put him in mid, but honestly, that's MK11's fault. The gameplay was so mid in Mortal Kombat 11, in my opinion. Scorpion. Just imagine how crazy Spawn would be in Mortal Kombat 1 or even Mortal Kombat X. Come on, he'd be so much more interesting and way more fun to play. MK11 is so mid with the gameplay, it intentionally limits you, and as a result held back Spawn as well. At least he looks cool, he's got guns and the hell powers, so that's neat. Maybe I could put him at the end of Very Fun, and that would be okay, but I don't know, he just feels so mid. And then at the high level, he's even more boring to watch, so I don't know where to put him. And now finally, we have the bottom row. RoboCop might be one of the worst characters to play in NetherRealm history. He's just so boring. He's a keep away character like Freddy, but without any combos whatsoever. At least Freddy had combos, but not RoboCop. He was special move the character. You almost never wanted to use his regular attacks or his attack strings. It was all just special move, special move. Oh my god, so boring. Which sucks because I like RoboCop. I think he's a great character from a fantastic film series, but he's just not fun in Mortal Kombat. Next up is Rambo, who is actually fun to play, but the demand was super low. Very similar to Conan. When he got announced, people were like, what? Who was asking for Rambo? Now once again, gameplay is fun. I could see myself going back and playing Rambo in MK11. He is kind of fun, but overall feels like a mistake because most fans weren't asking for him. Then one more hot take, Homelander, because hear me out, alright? He was popular since The Boys is a very popular show and everyone demanded he be in Mortal Kombat, alright? So good inclusion that way. However, he was so overpowered and he stayed overpowered the entire time. And as a result, everyone who plays the game at a semi-competitive level or just plays ranked all the time, they hate Homelander and wish he never happened because he's that overpowered. Then finally we have Raiden. Okay, hear me out. I like Raiden. He's one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters, but his inclusion in Injustice 3 felt very unnecessary. We got Sub-Zero, who everybody wanted since Scorpion was in Injustice 1, but Raiden felt unnecessary. And like Sub-Zero, his attacks were just Mortal Kombat X. So not even a new version of the character, right? Just copy and paste it over, which also sucks. Then for the last nail in the coffin, his look. Like, come on, this design is terrible. I hate it. It looks so weird. I can kind of see what they were going for, but they failed, and it just looks weird and goofy. In fact, most Raiden fans downright hate this costume. They despise it and wish it never existed. So yeah, overall, Raiden was a mistake. Kind of fun to play in Injustice 2, I won't lie, but still a mistake overall. And there we go, everybody, ranking every single guest character in NetherRealm history from Mortal Kombat to Injustice. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below, and then subscribe so you never miss any future content. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.